The newest genre of 2024 is this. Alright, video's over. No, but actually, what did you just hear? It was this. Wrap it up, boys! No, but in all seriousness, what you just heard was the newest genre of 2024. Something that I spent days working on and perfecting and fine-tuning. AmbiFusion. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what it is, but you'll know how to make it. So let's start at the very beginning. How do you go about making a genre anyway? You would think the easiest way is to just mash two genres together, right? Simple enough? Wrong. This is the most brain-busting task on the planet because you not only have to have the talent equivalent of Eric freaking Clapton in the genre of your choice in order to have an understanding well enough in order to perfect the craft and actually utilize the concepts of that genre correctly, you have to do that for two genres. So I threw that idea out the window right away. Instead, I started actually thinking about how we listen to music. And then it came to me, what if we listened to two songs at the same time and it actually sounded good? That's the main principle behind AmbiFusion. Two songs played at once that actually kind of sound good together. Easy enough to explain, not so simple to do. So before I moved forward, I decided I needed to make some rules to help guide me along the process. But first, coffee. There's a lot that ties music together to make it sound good or harmonious, but without getting into the nitty-gritty of it, there are three main categories that we can divide this up into. Syncopation, this is how the different rhythms of different instruments interact with each other. Harmony, these are the different notes that are being used by different instruments. As a little demonstration, notes can either be harmonious or a little bit crunchy. And 3, texture. This is the actual color or tone of an instrument. Sort of like how you know that a piano sounds like a piano, or a violin sounds like a violin. They sound like that instrument. That's what texture is. I knew right from the start that I wanted to use these concepts to strike a balance between chaos and harmony for this genre. For example, having both songs use the same instruments would make it really hard to tell where one song started and another one ended. But on the flip side of that, it would be way too chaotic if I, say, had one song play at a completely different tempo from another. Being completely unrelated, they'd be almost impossible to listen to. So, I went to work on figuring out how to make two songs sound good together, and the first concept I wanted to tackle was actually texture. Texture was actually pretty easy to figure out. Just pick two genres that weren't too aggressive and that were similar enough that they would blend well together. For example, I wouldn't be able to use anything like punk music or metal or hardcore EDM just because of the distortion in the instruments. Having those aggressive tones would make it really difficult to balance it with the other song. They would come out way too forward, and they would completely blot out the other song. Keeping this in mind, I eventually landed on doing ambient EDM and symphonic music. Both provide nice mellow instrumentation that don't need to be overly harsh, but one uses acoustic instruments while the other uses electronic instruments. A perfect balance between harmony and chaos. As a small aside, this was when I figured out that I could have one song coming out of the left ear and another song coming out of the right ear. If this has interested you at all so far, make sure to subscribe. Next up, I wanted to tackle syncopation. Following the same logic as the previous rule, I wanted to strike a balance between two tempos that were exactly the same for each song, and having two tempos that were completely unrelated from each other. That's when I landed on polyrhythms. In simple terms, a polyrhythm is two different beats played at the exact same time that eventually line back up together. A common type of polyrhythm is 5/4, where one hand plays 5 beats, and the other one plays 4 in the same amount of time. Now, I just needed to select 2 different tempos that created the same effect. I decided to go with 80 BPMs and 100 BPMs because I was going for a more chilled out sort of vibe. So I wanted to pick something a little bit more on the slower side. Lastly, I just had to pick the 2 keys the songs were going to be in. But frankly, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out which 2 made the most sense to me. So dear viewer, I've created a playlist that you can go and listen to right now that has all the different versions available. And after you listen to them, you can hop over to my community tab where you can vote for your favorite. The winner is going to be the one I post on Spotify. Now that I had an idea and some rules, all that was left to do was write the actual song. I wrote the left and right side individually and didn't put them together until the end, just to add a little bit of extra chaos into the mix. That being said, I did keep in mind that I was only writing half the song at any given point. Once I finally got around to combining the 2 songs, I struggled with getting the washy and atmospheric vibe that I wanted. So, I opted in for using some extra reverb and delay to help me blend the 2 into a really big, lush soundscape. If you'd like a video where I break this down into specifics, let me know by leaving a like on this video. There's this weird duality with this genre, both with the dynamics between the 2 songs and a balance between this idea of order and chaos. It's really just one big balancing act, and honestly, there's so much more that could be done to take this genre further. Maybe instead of writing songs separately, you write them at the same time. That way you could have one song play a super busy section while the other song just plays chords or something. Not to mention all the different genre combinations you could do. There's also more that you could do with timing or keys. There's just an entire realm of possibilities to explore. I really feel like I've created something genuinely original and new, and it's super satisfying, and I'm super happy with how it went. If you've made it all the way to this point in the video, leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on AmbiFusion. With that, I will leave you with another 15 seconds of the newest genre of 2024 to close out the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.